Hello chess lovers! I have a brilliant game for you played by Danish chess player and composer Soren Sorensen. His opponent is A. Ludvigsen, and the game was played in 1872 in Aalborg, which is a city in Denmark. Let's see how this spectacular game went on. Ludvigsen had white pieces and he started with e4, e5 by Sorensen, knight f3 and f5. Black goes for Greco counter Gambit, which is one of the oldest chess openings, having been analyzed in the 17th century by Gioacchino Greco. This looks like a reversed King's Gambit with a tempo down. The opening is considered to be weak because white can easily gain advantage by using the fact that black's king side is weakened. We see knight takes e5 and knight c6. Well, it was better to act against queen h5 check by playing queen f6. If queen h5 check, then this is not dangerous, simply g6. But after knight takes e5 we see knight c6 and white is playing queen h5 check, exploiting the weaknesses of black's king side, g6, and using the fact that the pawn on h7 is pinned, we see knight takes g6. Knight f6, queen takes f5, after which black is managing to gain advantage. It was better to place the queen on h4 square or on h3, still keeping the pin, but we see queen takes f5, and now black is first playing d6, kicking away the queen, and after queen f3 we see h takes g6. Bishop b5, bishop d7, knight c3, knight e5, queen g3, bishop takes b5, knight takes b5, and now black is also capturing on e4, queen e3 and rook h4. Well, the rook move looks very interesting, but actually d5 is stronger, protecting the knight. If d3 trying to exploit the pin, then black can play queen d7, counter-attacking white knight. If knight c3, then bishop g7. And now if d takes e4, then black can play d4 and winning back the lost piece. But after queen e3 we see rook h4. d3, not a good move. It's not quite clear why not g3, trying to lure away the defender. Though after g3 black has a very powerful move, king d7. The idea is that if g takes h4, then black can capture on h4 and start putting pressure on f2 square, and also this rook can come and exploit the weakness of e-file. If d4, then knight g4 can be very unpleasant. Of course, now white can't capture on e4 because of this rook e8, and if a move like queen f3, then again rook e8, and black has strong attacking chances. Of course, on the other hand, I have to repeat again that this variation would have been better for white, but after rook h4 we see d3. But instead of moving away his knight, we first see bishop h6, and after queen e2 we see the exchange of bishops on c1 square. Now comes the queen, queen g5, both attacking the rook on c1 and also the pawn on g2. And white castles king side, protecting both the pawn and the rook. But actually this is a very daring decision and gives black huge attacking chances. And Sorensen went for this dazzling rook takes h2 sacrifice. Again, looks very impressive, but not the strongest continuation. Queen f4 is better, threatening checkmate in one. Now if g3, then black can simply play knight f3 check and white should give up his queen, otherwise white king can get checkmated. That's why after queen f4 white should play h3, though after knight d2, rook e1, king d7, again in order to bring the other rook as well, g3, queen f5, g takes h4, knight f3 check followed by queen takes b5, still black has a very dangerous attack. Let's go back, but after castling king side we see rook takes h2, knight takes c7 check, which is losing on the spot. Actually king takes h2 would have been better. If castling queen side, then king g1. By the way, d takes e4 can be very dangerous because of this knight g4 check followed by queen h4, and white should give up his queen, otherwise can get checkmated. That's why after castling queenside, white should play king g1, bring the king on a safer square. If knight g4, then queen f3. The idea is that if queen h4, then queen h3, blocking the queen's path, though black can play knight takes f2. If rook takes f2, then knight takes f2, at the same time eyeing on c1 square. If rook f1, then queen takes b5, queen takes f2, and now both queens are starting to grab some pawns, and in the end of the day, black is a pawn up, though white can still try to struggle for a draw. Let's go back, but after rook takes h2, we see knight takes c7 check, which is losing on the spot. Here comes king d7. Now, if we have a look at the position, this is a very interesting position. Both rooks are hanging, the one on a8, the other on h2. Of course, now knight takes a8 can't be played because of this queen takes g2 checkmate, and if a move like king takes h2, then simply rook h8 check followed by queen h4, and again looks like that white king is getting checkmate hit. Let's go back. After king d7, that's why we see f4 in the game, forking the queen and the knight, but now black is playing a powerful move. Knight g4 with a deadly threat, rook h1 check followed by queen h4, queen h2 checkmate. By the way, instead of playing knight g4, queen h4 is also winning even faster, but this knight g4 just looks spectacular. Black is simply sacrificing the queen. F takes g5, and now you can pause the video and try to find black's next moves. Ready? It turns out that sacrificing a queen is not enough. Here comes another piece sacrifice, rook h1 check, king takes h1, knight g3 check. Look at these powerful knights. King g1, knight takes e2 check, king h1, and finally the rook on a8 makes its first move, and this is a checkmate. What a game! This Sorensen was definitely a very powerful attacking player. Sounds like my name, right? Soren. I suspect this was me in my previous life, Sorensen. Anyways, thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave your comments. Good luck.